Right, Why We Try Season 2 is here. We're back and doing things differently this season. We're going live under a new name, So You Wanna Try. You heard the whispers in Season 1, now it's happening. The boys convinced me and will convince you to sign up for your first try. Join us as we guide first-timers on their triathlon journey.
Woo-hoo!
So,
This is it.
how are we this week? That's like, what's going on? Basically, I realised because we upload to Spotify afterwards that we're missing some of the music, some of the intro, some of the outro. So the solution is that every week I'm just going to say that and do some outro, and then it makes it smoother if people are only listening on Spotify.
We have a person. Oh, that might be me. Say hello and watching.
Is it just you though?
I don't know if it's me. I don't think so.
How could it be?
From the other window, but I don't think so. So we have a person. Say
Somebody's
hello.
watching.
Yeah.
Hello, person.
Today, what's today about?
I think today we should go through picking a race.
Got
two people. Hello. But
Oh,
obviously
I
we've
think
already... Huh?
that was me.
We've already spoken in last season about how to pick a race and what to look out for and so on. So we don't want to repeat ourselves too much. But what might be interesting is that the races for this year have been selected already. And it might be interesting to hear your reasoning as to why, in the hopes that it could help someone. The idea is that Edwin was meant to be joining us, but apparently he's sick. But that's also something we can walk through with him in the next episode of, like, we can help him narrow it down and select some options. So
He got no choice.
Well, actually, maybe we could look on his behalf, because the one Rebecca signed up for, and you, Ben, the 5150, your background, is sold out.
Ooh.
Yeah, so he has got choices.
And maybe we can do some pre-research. Or Ben, maybe that's nice. You give us an update. What have you heard from him since since we called him, or did you not talk to him?
No, I did. He seems eager, just not for the swimming part. He seems he's like, yeah, don't worry, guys. I'll be there. I'll do it, but not the swimming part. So he might be disappointed to hear it sold out now. But that was always a potential problem when it was quite sold out. Even when I got my place, I think it was close, wasn't it?
Yeah, like less than 50.
Yeah. Is there still relay spots?
I think there is.
Could be a good option before they do an Olympic distance. Even get a team of people to do like a couple at one bit each.
Maybe that sways who we're going to call today as well. It has to be a Belgian person for the relay.
Question: if you do a relay, can you do two parts?
No, I don't think so.
Can't, no, you can't do like swim and run.
No.
It has to be a team of 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? What were you thinking?
No. It's just wondering if somebody like wanted to get like almost all the parts, but not quite, then they could still do 2 out of 3. But
no, 1 each. Oh, we have our first comment, and it's a bold one. And that comment comes from Miss Orla saying relay doesn't count.
That's bold from a non-swimmer, right?
We were going to call her for the relay team.
Yeah. Team captain slot up.
Relay entry is available. Okay.
Would you want to do the swim, or would you want to do the one that you know you can do? Interesting. So yeah, maybe that, and initially like training plans, talking about how.
Do you two see the comments as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
You can tell she lives in the household with Dad, can't you?
Heavily influenced.
Really doesn't count. Do it or don't do it.
No, she's going full Yoda then, isn't she? Do or do not. There is no try.
Well, do you know what it sounds like? It sounds like she needs to sign up for one.
She said to me tonight she was going to do the Knokke-Heist. She was disappointed it was sold out.
I wonder how many people are going to say that too.
Yeah.
Maybe we do need to make our own one. A lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, I was going to do the Knokke-Heist one, but now it's sold out."
Well,
Actually, we could do that with
is, I am doing one.
Yeah.
You're doing your own one.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
I am doing, well, I can't remember the date. Oh, I have to check my phone, but I'm doing one in remembrance, recognition of my friend Luke, because the first half Ironman we did our own. It was back in 2020, 2019. I lose track of what the COVID year was. So it'll be June the 26th. And we were entered for a couple of races, and they kept getting postponed and pushed back. And but then things started to open up, and there were still no races. So we trained and trained well because of COVID. No work and no restaurants, so that helped me. So we organised our own one actually with Benoit, but Benoit came off his TT bike and couldn't do it. So around June 2020, 2021. We went off and did our own triathlon. So that weekend, I'm going to organise a triathlon weekend, which can be relayed, despite what Dada Orla says. Can be Olympic, can be sprint. Probably won't be half because we've got another one in a couple of weeks after that. But just a celebration of triathlon. So
what was
organised that event.
June 26th, no?
June 26th. Yeah.
That's a Thursday though. I guess you'd go the weekend just after. Yeah.
Okay, that must have been the day we did it then. So
yeah,
around that
so you've
weekend.
Got 28 is the Saturday, 29 is the Sunday. That is when I have finished school for summer holidays. So
and you're not away?
Be there. No, we're back by then. So I'll be there, and I'll bring maybe all 4 children to do a bit of a triathlon as well.
Ooh, 4? One of them mine. God.
So what's better, the Saturday or the Sunday? Should we fix the date now?
Well, we can maybe leave it open for a bit to try and get people like Edwin there. Because if he can do one day or the other, then we'll do it on that day, right?
Yeah, and it's quite a nice. It's quite nice. It's swimming in the River Maas, and then the cycle was along the canal, and we went out and back again. So you could do that shorter, and then the run was a loop. I was trying to remember how many loops we did. I thought there were 5K loops. Yeah, I suppose that would have been 4 times, wouldn't it? Yeah, sounds about right. So you could do a couple of loops or one loop or just the run. So, and it's all open, public, no pay as you go. Car park there in a nice countryside. So dump your stuff, and your car is your T1, T2, T3, and bar afterwards as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe a call out to anyone in Belgium if you don't know where to start, if you're worried about like a race and just want to come for a fun thing. We know a few people who are saying about the swimming. There'll be lots of people around to help. This would be a good way to do it, and I think a nice thing to do all together.
And we can. I've seen some things advertised for like slow triathlons where there's no pressure on the pace. Swimming in the river is totally different to a pool for sure, but even to a lake as well, and it's quite good fun. And it's a sloping bank, so even if people aren't swimming and don't do 2 kilometers, 3.8 kilometers, or 3.8 splashes is going to be fine. So even if people just get in the water and have a feel, that's what it will be more about. getting people have a splash, have a run, have a ride together rather than competing. So that's the idea. So even if you're afraid of the water, then come in and just get in the water and start to feel. And those that can swim a bit further, then great. So the more the merrier. The only problem is it's one of my favorite photos and I've got it on a poster in the pain cave downstairs and a mug at work, is me and Luke having a beer afterwards, sat in the back of the car when we'd finished. And he was drinking Heineken. So I think out of respect, I'll have to drink Heineken, but that's the only time I ever drink Heineken. I even feel bad buying it. I'm hoping that we'll pick some up at a party or something.
We'll start to chat about it. And I mean, we have a few people we can already invite, right? But I think that'll be a really nice. That's like the whole point of this, right? So you want to try it, literally come along, try it out, speak to you guys who have lots of experience as well, and give it a go together.
Well, there we can do it in person, live.
Yeah, exactly. Thinking that too, like live streaming or getting some sound bites of people and so on could be very cool.
Yeah, because it's like you said, Knokke-Heist, that's September, right? I think that's probably the last one in our area, Northern Europe, that year, and it's sold out. So finding another event other than the local one's going to be a challenge. So it's a good way to try and have a go. Yeah,
I've got my person
to bring.
Yeah.
Hey,
Julian.
Oh.
He hasn't talked about Tri, but he's doing the marathon in April, and he's like properly training for it. He'll do quite well, I think. And he could use, like something like that, open distances. I'm sure he'd be down to come and give it a go.
And if people don't have bikes, we can probably sort one or two things out as well.
Well, yeah, I'll do it in like tandem, not on a tandem bike. But
We'll do one big tandem.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw the world record tandem bike the other day. It's about a mile long or something like that. I couldn't work out how they went round corners, but no, that's not a good idea.
Or maybe we need one of those beer bikes.
Probably with Heineken.
I'm just looking. Challenge Almere has middle distance available still.
That's quite long, isn't it?
Long, very fast.
Open Lakes has Olympic.
Okay, that's a tough course though, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know what the timings are either. Last time they were tight, weren't they? Or at least for the middle distance.
Same maybe Olympic as well. Yeah.
Just checking when that date is for Challenge Almere too. I think it's in September too, so it might be close to the Knokke one anyway. There's still spaces in the full distance one as well, Alex, if you want to go and be quicker.
Gosh.
Don't know if I would be quicker this year.
13th of September. That's when it is. That is the same date, isn't it, as our one?
Move your head.
Or the same weekend, I think.
Does it not say in your background?
No. Knokke is the 6th, I think.
Okay. Oh, you can do both. Knokke can be the warm-up. Can you see, is there a date there?
No. It's
there's some flowers in the way, isn't there?
When we talk about tough courses and so on, why? Because Dad, you picked this Knokke one. Why did you pick this one? What was that about?
Three reasons, I think. One we covered before is about the timing. So the two races this year are July and September. So you want one start of the season, one end of the season. And that's almost the first choice before the location. Second reason, two that I haven't done before. I've done West Friesland can't remember if it was 2 or 3 times now. And Open Lake Seal was done last year, so it was time. Maastricht I've done, so it was time for something different. So I'm doing Luxembourg and Knokke-Heist. I've done neither. And then one of the original reasons that I'd always fancied Knokke-Heist, I think they've only been doing it 2 or 3 years. It was only a recent reintroduction because there was no Ironman in Belgium before. It was the Bellman, the first one that we did, and it was a sea swim. So I've done a lake, I've done a river, and I wanted to do a sea swim, but it's not a sea swim anymore.
Oh no!
And Ben says I don't want to sea swim anyway. It's indoor in a place called Sluis, which makes it sound like it's some kind of water.
It's quite interesting, isn't it? That their advertising picture is still the sea as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've done a sea swim in that sea, and I'm quite happy we don't have to do it again.
In that sea?
Yeah. For my Sandman one, it was a bit further along the coast, I think, but very similar place.
Is there anything about, I don't know, like obviously you're experienced tri boys. Do you still look at, for example, is it flat? Is it windy? Is it so on? Like what?
Yeah. Wind, they don't tell you so much, but again, it's different. But on the Ironman site, there's a symbol for each of the different stages, so it tells you whether it's flat, rolling, or hills. And it depends what your challenge is, but there's quite a variety of. It's quite an impact that the hills can have for sure. A non-flat run and not a hilly ride, can make a big difference. Okay. And there's a bit. I think they do the similar in marathons. I think one of the most popular marathons for your fastest time is Berlin because it's the flattest, and there's no wind there. So the problem is you can get the flat ones like Friesland, like Knokke-Heist. If they're by the coast, you risk the wind, which can be as bad as the hills. You catch it on a good day and you've got no wind, is literally plain sailing, although you can't sail without wind. But if you took the Welsh or the Irish triathlons, they're hard work. It's a real badge of honor. So it's a bit like universities, you know how they're graded. So flat one's very popular, a good place to start. Off you go to get the distance. But definitely you need to watch out for Open Lakes, different kettle of fish to West Friesland. Hilly ride and non-flat run as well. So hilly run, but and it makes a big difference.
Although I read an interesting thread the other day that takes from the same conversation but the other perspective, where it's people who have obviously done quite a few races. They've ticked off their challenge of doing a full distance, and they're actively seeking out the races that everyone else wants to avoid. So they see big hills, like monstrous sea swim, running on cobbles, and transition, by the way, that's like a 2-kilometer run from where you come out of the sea, and they're like, yeah, that sounds good, I'll have some of that, and they battle themselves across the finish line, and then they do it for the just to complete the challenge and get it under their belt.
I wouldn't be surprised if they graded them at some stage, like gold, silver, and bronze, or something, or standard, or challenge, or something like that. To because they're quite. I know you've done an Ironman, I haven't, but to say I've done an Ironman, it's a bit like saying I've gone to university. Whether you went to Oxford or Kingston Polytechnic is a world of difference, and whether you've done the Welsh Ironman or the Cork one, or like I say, West Friesland, is a world of difference. Yeah.
Although, Ben, what was your stat the other day? 0.1%.
Yeah, was it as you walk down the road, you've got a 1 in 1,000 chance of meeting an Ironman, I think it was. Might have been less than that, mightn't it?
Sounds something like that, yeah. So what we're concluding is season 3 will be, let's do the biggest, baddest Ironman that we can find.
You're breaking up. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, no.
Don't worry, I've sent you a message.
Yeah, I think anyway, right, people that do Ironman are built different, but people that seek out those races
less than 0.01 of the world's population has completed a full Ironman triathlon, meaning the chances of meeting someone who has finished one is less than 1 in 1,000 people.
Wow.
That sounds like 1 in 1,000 sounds more approachable than 0.01% of the population.
Well, that means if we go to a sellout AFC Wimbledon game, there'll be 7 other Ironmen there. But if you 2 are there, then there's only 6 others.
And do you know how you spot them?
They'll fucking tell you.
They've
They got Ironman t-shirts on.
got Ironman AFC Wimbledon t-shirts.
Stood on the pitch at halftime, telling everyone about it.
Ben, what was your if you'd have seen that this race was super hilly or a sea swim, would you have still been tempted to have done it?
I didn't look at the course profile when I signed up.
Okay.
I just did it because you were all doing it. But I mean, it was down to Olympic distance from full distance, wasn't it? So even if it's hilly, I think I'd be okay. But if it was one of when we were looking for full distance one, Alex wanted to do the Evian one or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was it was oh, nice swim, nice run, bike ride. It didn't say hilly, it said mountainous, I think. And I was like, yeah, no. Doesn't interest me that much yet. So yeah. No, didn't look this time, but if it was a longer distance I would have looked definitely. Even a half distance I'd have a look before signing up for it.
Interesting.
Changes the way you train, doesn't it? I mean, you have to train specifically for it.
Yeah, if you're hitting, if you're training a good distances, if you're training reasonably well, so more than the Olympic distances, then you'll be all right, right? But if you're doing more than Olympic distance and you don't train on hills and your half distance is on hills, you're going to be in trouble, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a shock to the system that you don't want on the race day.
I think it's quite different riding too, isn't it? If we saw it even on our training rides, we did mostly flat rides, and you pedal continuously then for 5-6 hours. You don't really stop. Whereas on one of these mountainous rides, you have to pedal hard for an hour or two sometimes, but then you don't pedal for half an hour after that or something like that. It's completely different riding, isn't it? So
yeah,
I would adapt training based on it, but I don't think I'd be too scared of signing up for many races now. I mean, I wouldn't sign up for a full distance mountainous one this year, but maybe in a couple of years when I have time to train. I always worry about the really hilly ones because where we live in Belgium, you don't have the right hills to train. So even if I signed up to a tough one and said, I'll go and train on the hills, there's not enough around, I don't think, to replicate the worst courses. So that would be interesting.
Yeah, you could down in the Ardennes easily do Liège-Bastogne-Liège or some of those other challenges. That would be good enough.
Yeah, but that's quite far to drive. That's a weekend training then, instead of leaving from my front door.
I've done that in a day.
In a day?
Yeah.
Yeah, a whole day there.
Yeah.
Yeah, my training was starting at 5 o'clock in the morning and finishing by midday most of the time, wasn't it? So
hour and a half drive down there, 4 or 5 hours cycling and back. Yeah.
Okay.
But I was saying, I think I told you guys as well, the girls wake up now at about 6:30. Last year I trained before they woke up, but most of the time I was getting back as they woke up, maybe not from the rides, but definitely from the runs and the swims. I'm going to have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do that this time.
Or get one of those beer bikes and get them to pedal as well.
Get the trailer on the back.
Get them to start training.
But I did some of my training with Lexa, didn't I? When during nap times.
Yeah.
We took I ran with I think it's a dog lead around my shoulder and her bike attached to me whilst I was running.
Yeah.
That was quite good training. And then I ran with the trailer a couple of times too.
Yeah.
That was quite tough. I found some hills, and some of the hills you don't notice that much when you're running normally. When you have to push 2 children an extra 20 kg up the hill, then it's a bit more noticeable.
Gosh. When I'm running and I see people like pushing their buggies, I'm like, oh wow, you really love running, don't you? That's commitment.
That's always the comments they make. Children are brutally honest. It's like, Daddy, why didn't you run faster? I'm like, no, not now.
Did you come first?
It was Lozzo, wasn't it?
That's whilst I was pushing them, not on the actual race. They were happy with me. I got a medal, so they thought I did really well at the challenge. But no, it's like when I'm training, so she was like looking at the ground. Daddy, we're not going that fast. Like they're dying. It was a really hot day too. I think we got back and sat in the paddling pool and had ice cream, so it was boiling that day. I was like pouring water on myself, and she's like, "Oh, can you go a bit quicker?" Sitting in the trailer, like fanning herself.
I think I need one of those, like a little coach motivator on your
own. I think I need one of those too, but the trailer to sit in while someone's pulling me along. That'd be good.
Like a cox on a rowing boat. Yeah, you just you're shouting instructions, harder, left.
You're dropping pace faster.
But the funniest bit is like she gets out and runs a little bit, and she does like 10 steps, and then it's like, "Oh, Daddy, I'm tired of getting back in." And then she tells me to go faster too. It's like brutal.
Yeah. She's only got little legs.
She does.
And then for your other races that you signed up for, what was the deal with them? Why those ones?
What, the other triathlons or the other?
You're asking Dad. I'm one and done this year, aren't I?
Well, 2 now.
Oh, 2 and done. Yeah, it's doubled already. Fucking hell.
it's just like
that's one every podcast. This is every 2 weeks you'll get another one. Well, I said Luxembourg was timing, and I haven't done it. And Benoit, I think, and the team had done it. And although Ola says no relays, I think he got sucked in by doing a relay, doing the running for the relay. Went along, enjoyed the team, the camaraderie. Watched the whole thing and said, right, next time I'm doing that. And that's how he started. But he said Luxembourg was one of the most beautiful he's done. So again, we're looking for things we hadn't. There's not Ironman wise. There's not that many races in this kind of area. I'm still driving. Not dared to get into a plane yet. So after this year, there's probably not that many more that I would call local. So they were the local, and the timing worked out. July was a bit late. Would have preferred June like Friesland, but Friesland is June. So that was how those 2 races got picked. So next year it's going to be interesting. Yes.
The Croatia one looks quite nice. It's near where we go on holiday, and I did quite a lot of my training there. There were 3 weeks. I say a lot. That is a lot of my training. But there, it's like the wind is quite reliable. It's always quite low. The heat is not too bad because of the time of year it's in. Sea is nice to swim in. That would be, and it wasn't too hilly. I think there was some hills on that route, but quite a nice route to do as well. And you could drive that too. You'd have to give yourself a bit of time to get there and back. But
the ones we've done at the moment have been what 3 hours, 2 to 3.5 hours. So we could go up there on a Friday, register, get sorted, Saturday to sort yourself out, Sunday race, Monday home. Whereas those ones are a bit more like Nice looks quite nice, but that's I wouldn't want to drive there on a Thursday. Yeah, you need, and then it starts becoming a week rather than a weekend. But yeah, that's possible.
You could do support vehicle, couldn't you? Like you could have if you wanted to do one, get somebody to drive your bike down and you fly in like on the Friday morning or something, because then you wouldn't have the fatigue of a 15-hour journey.
Yeah, but Dad would have
premium service.
Dad would have the stress.
Yeah, who have I left with my bike?
Yeah. Don't trust anyone else to take the bike.
Yeah, but if he's flying after you, he can put it on the car too, couldn't he? So
Yeah,
just take the car. Yeah.
Then are they going to park at the right place? What are they going to do if they have to stop for petrol? Who's going to watch the bike?
He's saying
Or
that
need
you
a
need two.
Well, and there's the other thing that we've said as well. We didn't do it with Friesen, but I've been there before. But Luxembourg, I'm going to cycle the course before we do it. And Knokke-Heist possibly as well. So they're near enough that you can go up there and ride it for the day. If not the whole course, you get a feel for it.
Yeah. But the ones abroad.
A question then, the memorial one, your remembrance triathlon, do you have somebody watching the bikes whilst you're all swimming?
Last time we put them in the car.
In the car though, not on the back of the car.
Yeah, no, in the car.
Yeah, I'm sure we can organise a pit crew.
A steward.
Yeah.
Oh, steward.
No, you're right. If anything, I can steward.
No, but I'm sure we can stagger or do, work that
have
out.
someone constantly in transition.
Somebody doing widths instead of lengths.
You can do that on the river, yeah. Yeah, that's the only problem there that we've had with the river. It's a functioning river, so you do have to swim across to the other side of the buoys and up and down there, and that really can be a game of two halves, depending on the tide, the flow.
Oh no!
There's times, and it changes both directions as well. So there was one time I was going, this is hard work. This is hard work. Should we go a bit further? Just a bit further. Turn around. It's like shit. We're back already. Woof, straight back. So and you get water quality problems as well that you have to watch out for. There's sensors and flagging, and it's open. That one's a bit more open than the river, but there was a bit where we used to swim, and we did some of our first Olympics, Alex, where there's a little harbour there and you could swim in there, but yeah, that's the water's less flowing, so depending on what happens with the light and stuff, you can get blue algae, so you have to watch out for that. That would be a bit of a nuisance.
A bit.
I have a question. I have lots of questions for you today.
Oh.
The first one.
Pizza.
Yeah.
No, those come later. If we hadn't signed up for Knokke, knowing what you know, talk us through your race. Like, what are you looking at? How are you going to pick one? So let's say, okay, Knokke, you're going to love it. You're going to smash it. Next year, what are you looking at?
Well,
I know. It's where Dad's paid for the accommodation. That's what.
Yeah. Where's everyone else going? Like, in the car. No, I think the biggest thing that obviously is against a lot of what we say for this one is that I'm not using my bike. I'm not using really like anything of my own. I don't have a wetsuit and so on. And even if I did, I don't know if I would bring it in the cabin bag. So I think that goes. I think that's what we said in the episode about how to pick a race is close to home, right? Like how far away you're willing to go, and then from there, that is flat. I don't think I would. I think that would be my priority, whether it's a sea swim or so on, because I'm not experienced. I think I would be like, meh, all the same. Water's water, but it would be how hilly or not it is. So within a radius from my home. Also dates, because interestingly, and this is potentially a conversation we can have another time, but I was talking to a small group of people who have expressed interest in triathlon where I live currently, and we were looking up races, and they have one in May, one in July, and one in September. And straight away, then we were like, July, no, like way too hot.
Too hot,
you're like that wouldn't even be an inch of fun. So then it also comes into account with the time of year, because it's just, I think the shoulder season would be perfect. Otherwise, it's too hot. So maybe, I'm not saying anything yet, but there has been a possibility of all training for that together. I think that's the week after Knokke. And there's a possibility of all training for that and signing up for that. And that's
This
actually
year, not next year, this year.
this year, yeah. And that's in Valencia, I think.
Mm.
That's legit. What? And you're looking at doing it the week after?
Yeah. Would be fun. But
Fun logistics, that's for sure.
just an initial conversation. But yeah.
I've never done it, and I've never really looked at it, but we cycled in Fuerteventura, was it? And we hired bikes, and they deliver them. And if you know what kind of bike and you know your setup, we've seen people collecting them as well. I remember that in Friesland, they was there the day before, so they've flown in and you collect a bike that you've rented, and you can do similar things with the wetsuit. So you don't have to ship everything.
Yeah.
It depends what bike spec you've got and what they've got to hire. You might get exactly the same thing or very, very similar, that it doesn't make a difference.
I reckon there's two ends to that. Like, we're in the middle where all of that seems like a lot of hassle without a lot of benefit, and we do all of this training, and it's like, no, I want to, like, you don't want a mechanical to set you wrong. But I think, so we're in that middle group, but on the top group, you probably have the people who just say, like, yeah, it doesn't matter what it costs. I know I can get this bike, and it's going to be with this and that, and it's going to be spec'd how they want, and they know their measurements, so they know everything exactly and can replicate it. But then I think you also have the bottom group, which you might fall in, which is where you don't have your own bike. You get
the city velo for €5.
But you don't know what you're gonna miss, so you're not looking for the best thing. So you could just go and rent any kind of racing bike, and you'd be like, oh, it's a bike, it's got two wheels, it's got the things, I can just go on it.
As long as it goes, I don't really.
But then pedals versus cleats and Di2 and
but that's at the moment. What are you, pedals? Do you know what a cleat is? Do you know what SPD is?
An STD.
Yeah. SPF.
So there could be that for those like beginners.
Just a bike.
Removing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've never looked at it, but I can imagine the cost. Like you say, I've got an Argon 118 or whatever it is, and I can rent one of those. And Ben would say, that's more than my bloody bike cost just to rent it. So you've got the other option, but you've also seen many a time on Pathetic Triathletes with people that have said, my bike's gone to Timbuktu and I've gone to Tooting. I need a new bike, and somebody lends them one. So I don't know whether there's other options as well.
Well,
I did it in Berlin. Like, I did the Berlin Triathlon Olympic distance once on a rented bike. And I think that
was bike or a proper bike.
No, like a road bike, but it was just hadn't been on it before, and I think it was one of those services where you can rent it like for a given number of hours. And so, like, I did pick it up the day before. I'm not sure because I had to check in or not, but just because I wanted it done. But I think I dropped it back the same day as the race. And so I showed up, and I was reaching my time limit as well. Like, I don't know if it was 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. or something like that. And I was like, oh, finish the race. Oh, I better pack my stuff. And as soon as I could check the bike out, I cycled to the guy and I gave it back to him. He's like, oh, did you have a nice day? I was like, yeah, just did my triathlon on it.
Yeah, that wouldn't be happening. But for example, one of the guys who's interested in that race in Valencia was saying, like, he's got a terrible bike and he wouldn't buy a new one for it, but he has some friends who has like okay bikes, and even just for a month or two, if he could train on that and then use it. So I guess that also helps, right? Of like, if you're picking a race close to home, we said it before, but you have people supporting you, people who can carry things, but it's also like, Ben used all your kit, Dad, and like, I'm going to use all of Alex's kit. So it's like, you don't have to buy everything. You can lean on the people that you have around you.
Yeah, when I did Maastricht, I drove down, checked in, drove home, and then drove down the next morning. Yeah, you can't always do that.
Yeah. Sleeping in your own bed is also a big. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. My next question.
Oh gosh.
Where are you at
I'm currently in Hamburg.
Mentally, training wise.
Well,
Have you been for a swim yet?
at Christmas.
Let's get the countdown out. We should start with that every time, like we did the last season.
Dad, that'll be your job.
No, but that I got on the website. I don't think it's on the Ironman website, is it? And I cancelled my Training Peaks.
I can get it. 27 weeks, 3 days.
It's not a lot of time, is it?
I don't know.
Well, if you swim,
I don't think that sounds like a long time.
Yeah.
depends how much you swim, doesn't it? If you swim once a week, that's only 27 sessions.
Still, how many times did you swim?
I was gonna say that's a lot of sessions. I wouldn't do that many.
But how much training are you going to do, Ben? None?
Don't know.
You can't do less than none.
Not much. I'll probably do in the summer holiday, the 2 months of summer holiday. I'll probably do it then. I'm not sure if I'll take my bike to Croatia this time because we have 4 children, so I'm not sure I'll be able to escape for a few hours in the morning. But I could do some swimming then in the sea again, and some running in the evening or the morning. But probably the July and August will be easier to do.
Are you getting the indoor bike out again or not? Then you won't need it right in the summer.
It depends. Sometimes that's easier because I can do that in the evening when the children are sleeping, and if there's an issue, then I'm still here. So the only problem is I've had it a couple of times where Ivana's like, I'm on the indoor bike, and Ivana was dealing with one child and she wants me to go and deal with the other one, but I can't pick them up because I'm like sweaty as well. So just sleep. From a distance so I don't drip on them because it was like in the summer too, so it was hot as well. Had like the fan on me. As soon as you move away from the fan, it's like probably summer.
For a 40 kilometer, 50, 40. You don't.
A couple of rides. I'll do a few rides before it. I have to check the bike, don't I, before we triathlon.
Yeah. But you're not aiming for a specific time, are you?
No.
Okay.
He's aiming for my time because we're going to hold hands.
Yeah,
just 1 second quicker.
1 second quicker than Rebecca.
Oh, that race across the finish line would be amazing.
The sprint. That's what I'm going to start.
That's what you
Screw
should be
the rest
training.
of the training,
yeah. Can I beat the sprint finish?
Because I beat
I don't think you should worry about the sprint finish if you swam once this year. You should worry a bit more about that first.
I'm working backwards.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many? 27 weeks. Okay, but we're 2 months into the year. So what was your plan for the first 2 months? And is it like exam revision? Is it going to like, push it back, I've got an 8-month plan. Oh no, now I've got a 6 month plan, but I've still got plenty. And is that going to become a fuck plan? It's next week or
it's very interesting because right now
you're on a rest month, aren't you? I forgot that.
No, for my triathlon training, I'm on track because it hasn't started yet, and it's not due to start yet, so that's fine.
Well, that's not strictly true, is it?
Well, hang on, because, and this is an answer to your question of how am I feeling mentally. The focus is the half marathon. Like I'm not thinking past the half marathon because that is I need to be able to do that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because this was the year you were going to do half marathon a month.
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
Half marathon every month.
Yeah.
That's what she was going to do. And is your friend doing it? I keep telling people ask me why I'm doing it. And I said, you told me about your friend that was doing the challenge, but wasn't starting until January. Is he doing it?
No, he's not starting until next year. Remember I said it was 2026. And that's why we had that conversation because we both went, that's a piece of piss. And we went, we're going to do it this year.
We were talking about it in September, and I thought he wasn't going to start it till January this year.
No.
But it's even next year, is it?
Yeah. So I can join him next year.
I'm going to do an Ironman a month in X year's time. Yeah.
But I think that's the interesting thing because for the first time in my life, I'm on a plan. Like I've never done a race or anything. And that's so interesting that that period has gone from, oh yeah, it's ages away, to like, oh my God, I'm not going to get enough runs in because I'm not. Like, still to date, the longest run I've done is 12 kilometers.
Because it was a big
That's okay.
dilemma last weekend. Do I do my long run in Spain or Germany? And which one won out?
Spain.
Yeah.
No, but you know how it is. Like, that week was crazy, getting ready, like getting everything ready, and then I came here and we're walking like 12 kilometers a day, and it's just
Not even 20 a day.
it's just
You
it's
didn't even
okay.
walk to get this.
It's okay.
It's okay. She's got 2 days of February left. She could do a marathon to catch up on the 2 halves she's missed already.
So yeah, the focus is long runs when I get back on it. Long runs every week and building that up, and then bringing it back down because I need to get ready for the race. And then after that will be the proper training. So I'm not really thinking about it right now, to be honest. I'm just thinking about the half marathon, and all I can probably say, I message her probably once every 2 weeks, like, how are you feeling? And she's like, yeah, not good. And I'm like, good, me either. Like, but actually now
she had a good weekend, yeah.
Yeah, now she says that, and then I go on her bleeding Facebook, and 18. Well, how does she do? 15 or something kilometers. 18
No,
kilometers.
18. Yeah. And a lot of the aches and pains that the physio was sorting have gone away as well. Good feedback from the physio about mobility. So
good.
Yeah.
When is the date for your half?
12th April.
12th of April.
That's like
You don't have many weeks then, huh?
No, not at all.
So should we say?
Not if you're swimming twice a week as well.
I'm not swimming yet.
We might.
I put that as 6 weeks on Saturday. And your longest run so far is 12.
Well, I don't think
longest.
Too bad.
That was the longest run in the plan, right? It's not the longest run you've done.
Even if she adds a kilometer each week, she still wouldn't get up to race distance now.
No,
yeah, but
I'm gonna
you don't need to, do you?
How many weeks? 6 weeks.
6 weeks at the weekend. Yeah, 6 weeks on Saturday.
That's fine. I was planning on going up to 18 kilometers.
Okay, so you do a 13 this weekend.
I was planning on like either 1 or 2 kilometer increments.
Yeah.
And then repeating some, and then that's it. Yeah, the plan says 18 on the 10th of March. So I'll push that back a little bit, I think.
Wait, 18 on the 10th of March?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's next weekend. Are you going
the week
to 18?
Of March.
So I'll do the week after, I think, will be my biggest one. And then back down. It's fine.
I think Rebecca needs like one of the plans she sent to me, Dad. Like the 3 months to survive, where you need a 6-week version now.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. But then, so that's the interesting thing, that I was like, this is the first time I'm using a plan. So it's also the first time that I'm like, I really wish I stuck to the plan because of this conversation that we're now having. And I'm hoping that gives me enough foresight to
wisdom
to stick to the
triathlon
plan. But who knows, we'll probably be having this conversation again in a
maybe
few
we
months.
need like a little version of this every week, just to make sure you've done something, like Sunday evening, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Did Rebecca train this
I
week?
quite like Alex's version with the weekdays, and then it was a green tick or a red cross.
Yeah. Yeah. But it is, again, the thing that we spoke about, or we used to say that on Thursdays on podcast day, we would all be active on Strava. And the last time we recorded, that was when I was like, I'm going to go for my longest runs. I have something to tell them. So maybe that will already help. But yeah, definitely some accountability, please.
I think
we have
should
that in
print
the group now, and we know. So, but your plans, so your long runs just go up and up and up, do they?
Yeah.
That's quite unusual because they quite often up and down. And
yeah, she doesn't have time for that now.
No, ain't got no time. No, actually.
But you don't want to do like a 20 the week before either.
No way.
It should be It should be a run the week before, but not.
Yeah, 2 weeks. I wanted to do the big one, maximum like 2 or even 3 weeks out, and then scale back down a lot.
Yeah.
But I think, like, I would say, if you can run 15K, you can run a half marathon.
Run a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the support.
So I'm interested to see where, like, all this physio came up with the 18. I mean, yeah, within that range, like if you can do 15, 16, 17, then you're fine. I would say 18, like for sure you can do it then. But
she wasn't supposed to do 18 the weekend. I think the weekend was supposed to be 15, and then another week 18, and then it was back off. You can do it.
Yeah.
But Psycho got running.
But I think that's the thing that happened to me on Thursday, and I think that's why I'm not so worried because I know that I have some leeway to go up 1 or 2 kilometers depending on how I'm feeling. I'm just hoping that I feel good, so that I'm going for the upper end of that.
Well, but what happened? What did you do on your long run as well for the first time?
I took some
like,
nutrition, and I was like, "Woo!" Because and I don't know if that was mental, but that completely broke down the run for me. Like, whereas before you're just counting down 5 kilometers halfway 5 kilometers, and then you turn around and go back home. Instead, every second kilometer I was having a little nibble of my nutrition, so that was going a lot quicker. And then I think that was boosting me, so I have to play with that and see as well. But I think I wouldn't want to go less than 18. Like you say, if you can do 15, you can do a half marathon, but that's still like 8 kilometers different. Yeah. Whereas sometimes how I feel at the end of my runs, that's a lot.
But that's funny. We were talking about that at the weekend. So I did another half at the weekend, and I think Sunday and Monday was in better shape than I was. Or did we do it Sunday? Monday, she was in better shape than I was. And I said, what's really strange is I do that after I've cycled 90 and swam 2. Yeah. And yet today I'm knackered. But I think there's a lot in that, as Ben was saying, you don't want to do too much the week or two. We talked about tapering as well. It makes one heck of a difference if you've done your training and you rest. But it's a bit like revision for exams. I always think it's a good analogy that, revising the day before isn't going to do you any good. If you've got it, then resting the day before does you good. So you have to put the work in before. But yeah, after Sunday, I was thinking, oh my God, I do that after I cycled 9. Have I done that? Really? It's just unreal.
I think the other thing that's interesting that I haven't really thought about is that, and I don't know if that's normal or not, if I have to, like where I run, there's like some quiet roads where you're meant to stop. But as soon as the second I start walking, I'm like, ooh, ow. When I'm running, it's fine. But I'm also thinking like during the race, if you're taking some drinks or you're walking through and so on, I don't think I would. I think if I stop, I will stop. And like when I did my 12K, the second I stopped, I was really like, my legs like, I need to sit down and stretch because I'm in a lot of pain. So that will be interesting.
I can't tell you what happened during our week. I'm not allowed to say it if this is going out in public, but I said that we can't have that again. But again, during triathlons, the running, I walk through. It's harder to start, but if you stop going from a standstill to running, it's hard work. But walking and getting your drink proper and cooling down, depending on the weather, is worth the time it costs you to walk.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this, I think, on the other podcast before. The Nordic cross country champions walk up hills.
Yeah.
You don't got to be a hero. You haven't got to run the whole lot. And there's a lot of people, win the marathons. You haven't got to run. Who is it? I was talking about this. Roger Federer. He loses more points than he wins.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't got to win every point to win. You haven't got to run every kilometer to win. It's about working smart. Yeah.
That's a point. Is the course flat?
No.
I was just gonna ask.
No, I was looking at that, and I've just gone back to look at it because I said that to Orla. But it's not as bad as I thought it was either.
No,
No.
that's
No, the half was in Leuven. But I remember, Alex, we cycled Leuven, didn't we? And you think Leuven's flat. In the middle of Leuven, there's quite some hills in there.
I have a feeling that we run up one of the big ones that we cycled up as well.
There is a massive. There's a 6.2% hill.
I think it's that one that goes onto the ring of Leuven.
Yeah, that's a big one. It's like 2 kilometers in, and I see like the end is from kilometer 18 to the end is like all uphill as well.
Yeah.
But not much. Overall, it says the overall height elevation gain is 56 meters, so it's not much.
There's a 7.6%. 7.6% on 18 18. That's cruel.
Me.
It's gonna hurt. Yeah.
And
they're
the horrible.
They're the smart one. They're the smart ones to walk up.
Yeah.
You know the horrible bit too, don't you? It's like when you get to like kilometer 18 or 19, and you think, "Oh, I'm nearly finished. I've got 1 to go," and it's not 20k. It's 21 point whatever, isn't it?
Yeah. Because even when I'm running along the road and a car comes and I have to step up onto the curb, I feel that. Is that normal? I feel it in my hips and I have to like almost straight leg it up because I can't bend my legs.
Oh dear.
If there's any physios listening, I would really appreciate that, I think.
What shoes are you running in? Do you have proper running shoes or not?
Yeah, but they're also starting to get holes in. I think I might have to retire them soon.
Well, you haven't had a proper fitting?
No, I went to Essex and ran on the treadmill, and he gave me special shoes for that. But
did you get on well with them?
Yeah, they well, interestingly, they have been okay. I think he also asked me like, what are your goals for running? Like, are you going to do a marathon? I was like, no. I think I just said casual runs because that also dictated what shoes to get. But lately, I don't know if
seriously then.
Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know if I'm trying different socks. But lately, I've been getting tiny blisters on the outside of my big toes, but like just a dot.
I get that almost every run, I think.
Okay.
It's just character building.
Yeah, well, they don't hurt or anything, so I'll use them, and then I think I'll probably use them for the try.
If you want, I can tell you my tactics for buying a running shoe.
I think I know. Did you see the post I put in our group then?
No, I'm not sure I did. But you type in your size, and if it's bright, then it works.
It was like a picture of a parrot or something. I think it was like how most.
I did. Yeah, I did see this. Yeah.
And as I shared it, I was like, Ben's the opposite. Everyone is like wearing like really nice black outfits, and then they go for bright shoes, and then there's Ben that's like bright outfits, bright shoes.
Bright everything.
Yeah.
We're approaching our hour mark, and I have 2 segments left.
Oh, okay.
My first
segments of what? The Terry's chocolate orange. Do you love anyone enough to give them the last segment?
No, that didn't last. Even it was gone before we started. First is a kind of quick fire, test your knowledge. Could be applied to both the triathlon and the half marathon, really. Well, maybe not one of the questions. How many grams? Ola, you can also answer if you know, as you're watching along. And Ben and Dad, I'd like to hear your answer or your take on it as well. How many grams of carbs per hour should you aim for?
20.
90.
Ben?
Yeah, okay. 100.
80.
20?
80. No, the bar I had was 20.
Yeah.
And I 80.
Like between 60 to 90, I would say. Okay.
It depends on your body weight, doesn't it? It's supposed to be driven by it's a grams per kilo, but yeah.
Yeah, and based on how how used you are to like fueling and training with that and having that intake. So, but 60 is like on the lower end. 20 is like non-existent.
One bit of pasta each.
Yeah,
Well, we'll have to talk about nutrition a lot. I
it
think.
will
we
be
do-
another.
Didn't we
episode.
say roughly 100 per hour for the Ironman? That was, we said maybe 90, but I think I calculated on 100 just because easier maths.
Yeah, I don't think mine was that much. I think I trained most of the time with like around 80. And I think I hit about the same in the race.
It's a combo as well, though, isn't it? So yeah, juice, gums, gels, bars.
Yeah.
It's everything. So it's not just oh my gosh, where am I going to get that from? Because it sounds a lot, but
also half marathon, it wouldn't be too important, right? Either.
Yeah, in the second hour, you want to be hitting 60 or the first hour you fuel with your. Well, it's going to be 2 hours.
Yeah, no, it's like it's going to be 2. Are you sure?
2 to 3.
And 2 to 3. Yeah, because I was going to say for 2 hours, I think you'd be fine. But if it's going to be longer than that, then I think you'd probably have to start thinking about nutrition.
Normally, the rule is like above 1 hour, you need to fuel it.
Yeah.
8 kilometers in, I started taking nutrition to get me to my 12.
That's probably
okay. Yeah.
And what you're eating before.
I think more. I was going to say, I'm not saying you don't need anything for a half marathon, but I think like you could survive on a couple of energy drinks, basically.
You could
ate something.
But yeah, I mean, you're
built different,
even mentally.
Yeah.
Like if it's doing something to your body, all of the research is showing that. So.
Well, that was interesting because I also didn't eat it whole.
Yeah.
I was having it in like bites to keep me going. Little treat, little kilometer, little treat, little kilometer.
Yeah.
But that we'll have to tackle because I need to try a drink as well.
Yeah.
I'm paranoid about it now that even when I do my halves like Sunday, we park in the park and do 5k loops so that we can stop for a drink and a gel. And I'd rather do that and not need it than because I always notice and Orla noticed as well, those last few kilometers are hard. So and I don't want those last few kilometers becoming 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kilometers. So I'll make sure I'm fueled and ready, and that's not a reason to fail.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that, but an Olympic distance, I was assuming I'd do one in each transition probably and be fine. Maybe one extra one on the bike for halfway around if it's a 40k, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, then it's different again. For the bike, you're fueling for the run, right?
Yeah. So you do one again.
That's the one in transition again. Yeah.
I think you could try and do the Olympic holding your breath.
That's a good idea. I'll check what I've got left from the Ironman.
Yeah, that's your nutrition ready.
Oh wait, this leads nicely on to not my next question, but I'll skip a few and go to this one. So let's say you have done that. You've showed up to the race with whatever you've tried, and then you see a tasty-looking bar or gel in the aid station.
No.
What do you do?
Ignore it.
Yeah, definitely. No, you go for it.
At what point? Where are you?
Smash it.
If you're at the end, go for it.
Yeah.
Anything before, no.
I would say after maybe not even halfway.
No.
Like the last quarter, maybe you're allowed to just start shoving whatever you think you need to.
Well, that's what you two did on that one of you, no? Just trying anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, before
even
that.
on the bike, I ran out of my drinks, so I started taking their drinks, even though I'd never had them before.
Oh, I didn't do that.
I think I'd be too scared. Very worried about accidents.
I was more scared about dehydration than I was about trying a new drink. So
I can't remember which one it was. I tried a different gel, and I like my gels because they're like hydrogels, so you don't have to wash them down. And I'd either run out or not taken them or something. So I tried one of the others, Mortan, or one of those that was chocolatey. Oh, it was like eating one of Ben's used nappies. It was like, nah.
Oh!
What do you mean by used nappies?
It was no. No
Ben's
from me. No.
To be fair, I did struggle with some of the gels I took on the run as well. Not my ones again, but the ones I picked up. The flavour, and I think they had like extra caffeine in. It was like you had to have a drink to chase it, but they worked as well.
I'm like not good with flavours of things anyway, like on a normal day. So I think if I'm also running and taste something I don't like, that could be the end.
Becca would have enjoyed my first triathlon then.
It's better to have it and ignore the flavour and get you through, especially in those last legs when you're starting to get tired. Yeah.
My drinks for the first one, Rebecca, were strawberry mojito flavour.
Yeah, that's good.
What other flavour was it? Can't remember. It was another cocktail, I think, as well.
I could do that. As I said, me and we're on the same page with nutrition, with those races and so on.
My last quickfire question. What zone should you be in for the race?
Beast mode.
Yeah, fucking racing. 2.
Race zone. Just fucking go for it.
No, 2. But I don't know what that is anyway, because I don't think I've ever run in the zone 2. So
yeah, it depends as well.
I know.
Do you have a watch?
Yeah.
So you can see which zone you're in on Strava afterwards, no?
Yeah. I'm incapable. I've had this conversation with my coach. I was saying, I'm always in zone 3 or 4. But like in my run club, I'm running along talking, which is a sign of zone 2, right? That you can run and talk with no problems, which I can. I tried someone else's watch because I was like, maybe it's my watch. No. Then Alex was like, maybe you should try not talking. So I tried not talking and it still doesn't work. And we had it at Christmas in the gym when we were playing music. The second I'm nice and calm, the second I like sing a little bit, my heart rate shoots up. So I think I just get too excited.
Can you not set alerts on your watch and like try staying in a zone 2 for one run?
It's all the time.
It'd be quite interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's also normal for beginner. Like your heart rate is going to be higher in the beginning. It takes some time to adjust down before you probably could even do a slow run in zone 2 only. But yeah, the point was, it's not all out.
Your
Take
race,
your time.
your pace. Unless Ben's in front of you, then you race.
Smash it.
Then you go zone 4 and die.
All right.
Segment 2
would be calling our person, but I've just remembered he's known to be bad at answering. I'll try it.
He should be at football training too. It's Wednesday.
No, I don't think he's playing because he's taken the running seriously. So he stopped playing. Maybe. Active 42 minutes ago. Let's try.
Who are we calling then? Julian?
Yeah.
What, to challenge him to do a triathlon?
Yeah,
straight away.
Rejected.
Oh, he's rejected you. He knows. Maybe he's watching on YouTube. He's
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing that.
No, absolutely not.
All right. Well, we'll bring an update next time. But I think he'll be up for it. And I've realized we should add to our intro. I sent you the message. Every episode, we're trying to get someone new to sign up. That's our goal.
Why is it all of a sudden
90? Even if it's not...
What does
I
90
think that's
mean?
the grams of carbs per hour.
Even if it's not live in the episode. So far, it seems like we're 1 for 1. If I get Julian up, we're 2 for 2. As long as we carry that number over, then we're doing.
So what do we need? We need next time Rebecca has to.
Rebecca
would have to bring
people.
someone. 27? Oh, there's so
Well,
many episodes.
27. Oh no, 27 weeks and a half. We're looking at like 13 people.
I don't know that many people.
Yeah, but you don't need 13, do you?
I don't know that many stupid people.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, I bring most.
Is it 3 people each, isn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Is it new to, or just to get them to do it?
No, the whole point of this
So you
season is
wanna.
new to. It's the people who have been talking about it, sitting on the fence. They could have tried and failed, because that's
Well,
one of my people.
Rebecca's
No,
got one
no.
anyway.
Huh?
Yeah,
You've got
Rebecca's
one
got an
anyway.
easy one.
Yeah, I've got one.
Who's
Maybe.
yours? Oh yeah.
Ooh,
He
called
lives
her
on
out
the
by
second floor.
face.
I've got one. Yeah, let's see.
Okay.
Oh,
All
So
right.
next week, Edwin should join, and we should
2
get an
weeks.
update from Julian. Oh yeah, next episode.
in 2 weeks. Back to Thursday in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose if this goes out, if there's anybody else, we're thinking of our friends. If there's anybody else that wants to volunteer or express an interest,
Or
Yeah.
volunteer somebody else.
Or
yeah,
volunteer a friend. Yeah.
get some
Yeah.
therapy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
we're happy to have an open conversation.
I heard of someone yesterday actually who was giving it all this, the order is saying, Alex was saying he went out for a 20-30 kilometer run, and this person was going, why did you bother? Like, just go for 40, giving it all that. He's active in our group, and he says he likes listening to our podcast and is going to give it a listen again. So, or if you are listening to this episode, you're in big trouble and phone call.
We're coming.
You can't give it all that and then not take part. So,
Yeah.
all right.
And before we finish too, should we not sing a little song for somebody for tomorrow?
Oh yeah. What's on
I
twinkle?
don't know.
Oh, Christmas tree.
Go on then, you can lead the pack.
Are you going to join me then?
Mhm.
Happy birthday
birthday
to
to
you. Happy birthday
Murdering me.
to you. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday, dear
Alex.
Iron Man. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
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 you.
you.
Wow, that was.
I think you need to edit that so it sounds better than we sang it, okay?
That's
Some
the
auto
beauty.
tune.
The beauty of live is there's no editing. All right.
All right. Good
Bye-bye.
night.
Ciao.
See you soon.